It had been almost 100 years since humanity stopped. Their beings had just stopped and they had all gone into a comatose state, seemingly never aging, yet their bodies however slowly withered. My kind, who had watched over the human race and many others, collected and placed them in small chambers where they could exist without animals or natural disasters killing them. I was one of the few custodians watching over the slumbering humans, who never needed any care, their bodies seemingly sustaining themselves off nothing. Our kind had long since been able to see into the human mind. In there, each human had created their own world and lived out the life they wanted in bliss. Even though it was frowned upon, I spent my free times looking into the minds of the humans, just to see what they would come up with. My favorite was a male, given the code MCP1, which only meant that he was in Level M, Section C, Row P, Pod 1. In his mind, he was famous on something the humans had called YouTube, reading scary stories that for some odd reason had been dubbed creepypasta. I had no idea where he had gotten this title, as I found no way in which pasta could be creepy. It didn't matter. Once work was over, I sat beside his pod for hours listening to him tell stories that sent shivers down my spines. I hoped that one day, in my lifetime, he would awake and I could really get to know him as a friend and not as somebody in a tube. It's true I knew much of his life through looking into his mind, but I never watched or listened to anything personal, just his stories. It was a little sad, though, him talking to his non-existent friends, which were just figments of his mind. I knew that they were probably in another pod enjoying their own little worlds. I doubt he or any other human would accept our kind, simply because humans fear and usually destroy what they can't understand. Not that our kind was much different from theirs, except for a few differences. Our skin was an almost unearthly white, a similar color to what you humans call milk. We also have two horns protruding from above our eyes, which are a dark silver color. I hoped that MCP1 might be different from other humans, considering what he could come up with. Small things made me believe he knew about his surroundings, and every so often he could see us, mostly because of other species that help us take care of the humans. He calls one Slender Man, as this species is what we use to tap into the human psyche to try and wake them. I never thought my fellow Terrians were all that terrifying, no matter how they could bend or extend their limbs. There was another, I think he calls it the Rake. They might seem terrifying, but they're actually very gentle. They were the ones who designed the tank and maintain it and all of the humans' life support systems using their elongated fingers. If he does wake up, I could show him that they aren't terrifying monsters. But if he doesn't wake up and continues to sleep, I fear for what might one day happen to him. If humans suddenly start aging again, he would turn to dust and bones after the hundreds of years he's been asleep. Thinking of that and the hundreds of other things that could go wrong, I fear for not only the man, but all of humanity. What happened to him?